your cravings weren't a problem to fix, but a love story waiting to be written. In this episode, we explore how desire, devotion, and embodiment, not discipline, can help you break free from self-sabotage and finally feel at home in your body. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to chase them down. Today, we are chatting with Kayla MacDonald. Kayla is a food freedom and embodiment coach who helps women break free from self-sabotage and finally feel at home, safe, sexy in their bodies. She's the creator of the Food Freedom Fantasy, a sensual story-driven method that blends archetypes, nervous system healing, and inner storytelling to help women turn cravings into clarity and self-care into sacred play. Kayla believes true transformation isn't about willpower, it's about rewriting the story you've been stuck in and learning to trust your body's wisdom again. Welcome to the show, Kayla. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's ask you the big question. Are you ready?
Yes.
What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
I think the biggest thing is authenticity and honesty, especially in a very digital world where it's easy to share the highlight reel or twist reality. So I think that when you can actually share what's real, what's hard, honestly, so people feel less alone, I think that is one of the best things we could do.
I do too. And I love what you're doing. I think that really plays into the whole body image and, you know, I'm old, you know, and my body isn't the way it was when I was young. And it's just being able to be happy with what you got instead of like wanting something that, let's face it, it's just not going to happen. Even with a lot of plastic surgery out there. I mean, there are women who are really old that have a lot of plastic surgery. Look at Madonna, who don't even look like the same person anymore. It's just like not necessarily better either.
I think one of the most beautiful and defiant things we can do as women is decide that our body is a vehicle for us to experience life, and we want to take care of it so that it feels and performs its best versus looks a way that society says it should.
Yeah, I agree. I've met a lot of women who are very thin, but they're not healthy. Especially when they get older.
Mhm.
There's this myth that you need to look like you did when you were in your 20s, but it really, if you look like you did when you were in your 20s, your body is, when you were in your 20s, your body was getting ready to do something different than it is when you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s. And you need a little more fat on your body because this is how your body's designed. Fertility
Yes,
goddesses didn't look like they looked because the majority of old women were super skinny.
exactly.
So, what you want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and um, we'll kind of get into it from there.
Yes. So I started as a health coach and personal trainer, worked at a private studio for over 8 years. And the entire time I struggled with my own relationship with food. I was binge eating behind closed doors, very self-conscious, felt like an imposter. If I saw a client at the grocery store and my basket was full of Doritos and Reese's peanut butter cups, I would run away. So I struggled a lot. Even though I was in the industry, I had the certifications, I knew what to do. And I also noticed that many of my clients had the same challenges. They were showing up, they were smart, they were driven, and they were self-sabotaging, they were emotional eating. And even when they did achieve success, it never seemed like enough to them. There was this low-grade dissatisfaction no matter how far they came. So what I realized over the last 4 years, especially as I dove more into the inner world of why a person can know what to do and still struggle to do it, or even do what looks like self-sabotage. So I got into that world. I learned about resistance and subconscious patterns and parts work. And that was where I realized this is where the real magic happens. And over time, I blended my own knowledge and lived experience. So I bring in dance alchemy, I bring in creative writing, as my first degree was actually in creative writing in English. And I do a lot of internal family system slash parts work. But I also noticed there were some drawbacks of the traditional way of doing it. So I have tweaked it in such a way that it feels less like clinical babysitting and more like a spicy book talk romance novel. So, been up to.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about a little bit about the idea of self-sabotage. Like, we all know what we should be eating, but we don't. How does that happen and why?
There's going to be a few reasons this can happen. One is that obviously we have our main personality that knows what to eat, that wants to eat the chicken breast, the stir fry, whatever's going to give us energy and make us feel good. However, there's often other parts of us, often younger parts, that don't feel safe to either A, be in a smaller body, or B, say no to the cravings for other types of food because those foods they're actually using to regulate their nervous system. So what happens is we want to make the nourishing, energizing choices, but there are other parts of us that feel it's not safe to do so. That's one thing that can happen. The other is oftentimes people have such strong perfectionist parts or pusher parts that just nothing is ever enough. So they're constantly striving and forcing without letting themselves rest. And that can often come from a place of low self worth. And eventually that can lead to burnout. And when the burnout happens, that's often when those really less aligned choices start to happen. And then there's also, as we mentioned in the talk prior to starting, the binge eating drama triangle, which I can talk a little bit about as well if you'd like.
Yep, that was my next question.
Yes. So in parts work, there's going to be a collection of different parts. So we have what's called an inner critic, a part of us that wants us to do a good job. It wants us to perform. And it often has very high standards. So the interesting thing is this part will often show up when we're in a life change or trying something new or getting uncomfortable in some way. And when we're doing something new, we'll often kind of suck at it at first. So we're doing the new thing maybe, or we're starting a new routine, a new habit. The inner critic starts in and it starts berating us for not doing the thing good enough, for failing at it, whatever it might be. So that's one part. That would be the villain, if you're familiar with the original drama triangle. And then you have the victim. And that's going to be a really tender young part of you. And it's going to feel that sadness, that shame of being berated by this inner critic. And then you have a firefighter or a rescuer part. And this is the part that sees this poor younger part and it says, hey, I don't want you to have to feel that way. So I'm going to come in and do whatever I can to make you stop feeling this way.
Here,
And
let's go
that's
get ice
often
cream.
ice cream, or let's scroll for like 2 hours so we don't have to feel the thing. Let's finish a bottle of wine. It's whatever it can do to make that inner child part stop feeling this way. But then what happens is This part now becomes the villain because this inner critic wanted us to do these like really great things. And now we're tired. Now we have no energy. Now we don't want to do the thing. But then this part again starts beating up on us, but now for binge eating or sabotaging in some way. And now this cycle just continues until you can see it and work your way out of it.
And you help people work their way out of it.
I do, yes.
And is it painful?
No, it's actually fun and playful, and you'll even laugh a little bit. Like that's the best part is the work I do really takes humor and play and turns something that can be quite challenging and has a lot of difficult emotions and turns it into something where yes, you still feel the difficult feelings. That's so important. But then you also get to laugh and bring in some levity, which really acts as a nice balance.
I like that. So I love that you bring archetypes into your work and are the two masculine types and then help you support the embodiment and freedom parts. Does that make sense to you? Let me
Can
ask
you
it this way. I love that you bring archetypes into your work. Can you explain the two masculine archetypes and you help women develop and support the embodiment and freedom?
Yes. So I think all women want to be held in their feminine. And the feminine is wild, it's sensual, it's playful, it's emotional. And a lot of women don't feel like they have safe containment and structure for all that feminine magic. So, what these two archetypes do that I work with gives them that safety and also allows them to access their fire and their passion. So these two archetypal figures, one is what I call the fire starter. So he's the drive, he's the ambition, he's the go get stuff done. It's like a woman has a big goal and she wants to do the thing, but she's got resistance. This part is going to push her to do the thing anyways, but in a very loving, playful way. But I think what's even more powerful that a lot of women are missing is the archetype of safety, of being grounded, of being present, of knowing that they can slow down and feel like they're enough just as they are. So, this is the part that helps them mitigate the potential for burnout and overworking. Can just really let them soften into their life and appreciate what they have instead of always needing to make something different. So it's so valuable to have both of these energies working in your life so that you're not only still working towards those goals, those dreams, those passions you have, but you feel safe and stable and have the capacity to do it at a rate that actually feels good.
So your approach sounds like a beautiful blend of psychology, sensuality, and storytelling. What inspired you to merge the worlds and how has that changed your own relationship with food and your body?
Oh my goodness. So this actually came about after studying inner work, Hart's work for 4 years. I think I started in 2021. And prior to this, I'd been having a lot of dreams about these two recurrent characters. And one of them was very much the fire starter. One of them was very much the sanctuary. And at this time, I had also been using AI as like an interactive journal. And I know AI has its drawbacks, but when you use it
I
as
love
more of a
AI, so
yeah,
you're
so when you
good.
use it more as a conversation tool, it can be really powerful to help you connect more deeply to yourself. So one morning, I had just eaten an entire pizza and a bag of crazy bread after a difficult night, and I was feeling frustrated that I still continued to struggle with binge and emotional eating after all the work, all the things I'd tried. So I was journaling about this and I asked ChatGPT to write me a little scene where these two characters staged a pizza intervention and talked to my inner child and got her to not choose the pizza. So it wrote this scene, it was cute, it was funny, and I thought to myself, this would be really effective if I used this when a craving hit. So I started using this and I started drawing in all of these other modalities and techniques that I'd learned over the years and created this whole little system. And I went over 2 months without a single binge, which is unheard of. I broke the 2 hour barrier on a half marathon. And this was something I had tried 13 times over a 13-year span. And this was the first time I could do it. And I actually had fun and I enjoyed the process and it felt easy for the first time. And the other really cool thing is that I'd let go of a lot of diet culture tools. So the macros, the calorie counting, I had a very hard time letting go of the scale. Very hard time. But it was finally through doing this work with these archetypes, which at the end of the day, a big part of what they do is give you that sense that you're already worthy and enough because you create them in such a way that they care for you unconditionally, even when it's hard for you to do that for yourself. So through working with them, I realized I don't want to be known for how many pounds I've lost. I don't want to be known for what my body looks like. I want to be known for my storytelling, for my voice, and how much I help people. And that has nothing to do with how I look. So it's really helped heal my relationship with food because I have different tools to manage binge and emotional eating. It's helped me to rewire my nervous system when it comes to things like showing up on podcasts or putting content out or making offers. And it's also helped me find all of those conditions I was subconsciously putting on my self-worth and eliminate them so that I can show up from a place of I'm already enough, nothing needs to change, and I just get to enjoy my life, which is what I want for every person out there.
There's so much power in that. My scale takes a battery, and I haven't replaced it in probably 6 months. I just decided I don't care what that number is. It just doesn't matter. I make good choices in the foods that I eat. Yeah, sometimes I have ice cream,
Mhm.
a lot of ice
Exactly.
cream, and I usually suffer for it. But it's okay. I make a
Yes.
lot of good choices about food, and I'm not that concerned about being a size whatever. I never understood the size things. They changed, over the years they do change those numbers, and they're just numbers. They're to help you decide if something is going to fit when you order it on Amazon or you go into a store and you're looking at it and it's like a place to start. It's not a judgment of who you are.
Exactly, and I think that's a powerful point about numbers and metrics in general, is that they have no meaning until we decide to give them meaning.
Yes.
And if we just decide that we wanna find our meaning elsewhere and disconnect our worth from those metrics, like I said, that's one of the most powerfully defiant things that a woman can do in today's world.
Yeah. And, wear the thing that makes you feel good, not the thing that you're supposed to wear. My
Yes.
husband was having a conversation with me the other day when we were walking, and I, I've been having foot problems. And so he was talking about high-heeled shoes, and high-heeled shoes are the worst things ever invented, ever, for women, for their bodies. It just does so much damage to your body i- in a short period of time that you have to recover from when you're older. Bunions, hammer toe, women who've been wearing those pointy shoes for a long time when they were young, usually in like their 20s and 30s, their feet form, and it's because of these stupid shoes. And I know a lot of them are showpieces. My sister has maybe 100 pairs of shoes that she
Oh,
visits. She wears flat shoes with good arch support,
Yes.
but she loves shoes. She likes to look at them. They're very beautiful.
It is one of those things where they are aesthetically pleasing, but very uncomfortable. So I feel like you can wear them for like 5 minutes, maybe get a picture in them, and then take them off. That's how I approach heels.
Yeah, they're more like sitting. They're sitting shoes. They're not really walking or standing shoes. And
Yes.
and yeah, you shouldn't keep them on your feet for very long. I know people that have like really damaged their feet and legs because of wearing them. And it throws your balance off.
Definitely.
So all the things that, we think are great and beautiful, it's the stories we tell ourselves about these things. It's not the thing.
Very true. Yes.
So you say that discipline and consistency aren't the answer for high performing women. Why do those strategies often backfire and what works better instead?
Discipline and consistency tend to be something that high performing women already have in spades. And to bring it back to that drama triangle of binge eating, I think it's especially pervasive for high performing women. So they already have a ton of discipline and consistency, but it's never enough for that inner critic. So when they have a human moment, in spite of all that discipline and consistency, the negative self-talk starts in, and then that the emotions start, and then the firefighting, aka binge and emotional eating starts. So what these women don't need more of is discipline and consistency. It's actually letting themselves be human, and it's actually letting themselves soften. And that's why I love working with both of these archetypes because the fiery, challenging one, most high performing women, this will be very overdeveloped in them. Then this softer, safe part is tends to be very underdeveloped or maybe even completely missing. So when you bring that part in and let that part have more airtime, that's when everything starts to change. Because then you're not going through the burnout cycles. Then you're not stuck in that drama triangle. And you can actually make more steady, gentle, fun progress towards whatever goal you're working towards.
So how do you work with people, Kayla? Do you work in groups, one-on-one, communities? How does all that look?
I am currently doing a beta round of Food Freedom Fantasy. So this is something I've been working on since April, and I know it's worked great for me. And now it's time to see how it works for other people and iron out the method for like a larger audience. So I'm doing a beta group offering of it that actually starts next week. And then I can also work with people one-on-one with this if they really want to go deep and get that personalized attention.
I love it. I love it. So you also offer is this a is this a portion of it, or are we talking about the whole program, the Food Freedom Fantasy, the program that helps women to food freedom journey into a love story they want to live out instead of the chore they're obligated to?
Yes, that is the program.
Okay. And they can join this program at embodiedwritingwarrior.com, correct?
Yes, there'll be a spot at the top that says Food Freedom Fantasy. Depending on when this comes out, we might be running the beta round already, but they can always join one-on-one. And
Mhm.
then we'll be running another cohort in January sometime because everybody starts their health programs in January.
This will actually drop probably towards the end of January, maybe February. So, but in the meantime, if you share it with people now, then they can jump in right away. There's, in my mind, and I'm going to share this for you, there will always be opportunities to join a cohort. Just, pop on over to embodiedwritingwarrior.com and see when the next one starts.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kayla. This has been a great conversation.
Yes, thank you again for having me. I've loved it.
You are so welcome. To learn more about Kayla and to find the Food Freedom Fantasy Program, please visit embodiedwritingwarrior.com and look for the little banner that says Food Freedom Fantasy Program. Thanks for tuning in today to the You World Order Showcase podcast. If you're ready to amplify your voice and monetize your mission and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Be sure to join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.